My name is Minoru Kobayashi. As one of the co-chairs of this conference, I am honored to introduce the first speaker, of course, which is the keynote speech. This year, we invited Professor Minjuan Wang. After spending decades in the United States, she has just joined the Education University of Hong Kong, where she is chair professor of emerging technologies and future education. She has also been the editor-in-chief of the IEEE Transactions on learning technologies and an associate editor for Nature, Humanities, and Social Sciences Communications. Today, she's going to give a talk about Metaverse, generative AI, and their impact on education. I believe you're going to enjoy the talk. So, please join me to welcome Professor Wang.
My slides already up there? Okay. Oh, so I need to. Thank you. So I need. It doesn't work. So open this one, Keynote. What's going on with the mouse? Which is the one that I have? This one, Metaverse AI. Sorry, the mouse doesn't work. Thank you. Well, I'll say a few words. So thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Barcelona. When they asked me to keynote speak, I didn't even look at the conference. I only saw the location was Barcelona. So I said, okay, I will be there. And later I realized, oh, it's a conference I'm quite unfamiliar with. But the conference chair I knew. I knew Divinia and also Gustav, Claudia. They both serve as associate editor for IEEE Transactions on Learning Technologies. So for the best paper selected from this conference, you're welcome to expand it, extend it, and submit it to the journal for publication. So the journal is a good, I think it's a good one. We're triple indexed by SSCI, SCI, and also EI. We still need to work on the impact factor. But that's a complicated issue because we publish too many pages. We need to improve the citations. But we do receive lots of papers from Spain. Perfect timing. So how do I move then? Do we have the keyboard? I just use, so this one's page down. Did I send this one? Okay, that's the only one I need, yeah. All right, so I was already introduced. So that's a journal I was mentioning. It's Transactions on Learning Technologies, TLT. It's quite interdisciplinary. TLT publishes both computer science and learning technology. So currently we have a special issue called Intelligent Augmentation and the Future Education. It's advised by Ph.D. from Harvard University. Ph.D. is one of the biggest figure in education in Harvard. So you're welcome to submit this one. The due date is October 31st, about 6 weeks. So if you have any papers relevant and for anything to do with intelligent augmentation and education, you're welcome to submit. And those are the guest editors. Guest editors has also another one, Nicole Mills, also from Harvard. So now let's get into my keynote speak. And they asked me to focus more on collaborative learning. I actually, in my graduate study, my dissertation was about CSCL. So CSCL, CSCW, Computer Supported Collaborative Work. I think that's all where we come from. We all started by looking at collaborative learning, collaborative work, and then expanded to other areas. So my keynote is not specifically on collaborative learning, but collaborative learning is an underlying framework because with every technology we create is to support collaboration. I want to start with a figure from the global top 10 technologies of strategic importance. And you can see the second one is education and workforce development technologies. So that one relies heavily on collaborative work, collaborative tech. So the field you are in and the work you're doing are making a big contribution to this one being the second. And the AI is actually not that high on the list, even though AI is like the buzzword everybody talk about. But if you look at the global 10, artificial intelligence is number 8. So there are many, many other things on top of technology. So technology is only a tool we use, but it shouldn't be the key of what we do. And I want to start with the types of artificial intelligence. There's one called narrow AI. So there are people who are resistant to AI, especially in literature. I have met professors in literature, in history, in philosophy. They want to get away from technology as far as they can, but we really cannot. If they use Google Map, Google Search has machine learning built in from 2015. So that's type of a narrow AI. And the second one is called generative AI. Generative AI is what has been attracting lots of attention lately. It's ChatGPT and all those. ChatGPT, there was a bunch from China, Moz, Baidu, Alibaba has its own technology. So those are generative AI, things which can create new content based on all the large database. And then finally, there is general AI. So general AI means predictive. It thinks and functions like a human mind. So those are the 3 types. I want to introduce this because people tend to confuse. When we talk about AI, they think generative AI is AI, but it's only generative AI. It's not going to evolve into general AI. So there is a big difference between those two. And let's go back a little bit. 2022 is the age of Metaverse. That's where during the pandemic, we couldn't meet face-to-face, and people move online. Around the world, we all go into online. That's where Metaverse bloomed. We began to talk about Metaverse. And then all of a sudden, 2023, the ChatGPT was released. People all moved away from Metaverse, and all the attention is on AIGC, Artificial General Intelligence. But actually, Metaverse did not go away. Because Metaverse, even though it's probably not a hot topic in the tech world, but it's what we use on a daily basis. And the Metaverse actually started a long time ago. How many of you use Second Life? Yeah, so good. So this probably look familiar to you. That's Second Life. Second Life is already Metaverse. It's the beginning of Metaverse. Unfortunately, we didn't brand it. We were not smart enough to think we should give the name. So we just called it Second Life. And that's the class I was teaching back in 2010 in San Diego. We were already teaching in the Metaverse. We were experimenting. I have students coming in like robots. Students were really engaged, made a big difference in student engagement. And I also had a doctoral student. She's from France. She's French, Sabine. So she actually wrote a very first dissertation on social presence in Second Life. So we can also call the social presence in the Metaverse. So my point is Metaverse is nothing new. It has been around for a long time and now has come into the surface. And this is another picture of a platform called Vabella. Vabella is one of the most frequently used, probably in America, in North America. We use it very often for international conferences. Maybe future you can try it for Club Tech. So you can build exhibition hall. It's completely virtual. There's no one face-to-face. We all meet as avatars in Metaverse. So that made a huge difference during the pandemic for conferencing, because everyone was having Zoom fatigue. So you no longer have the Zoom fatigue. You go into Vabella, you might become tired, but your avatar is going to have a good time in the Metaverse platform. So that's just a picture of me walking. You can change your avatar to make it look like you. And the Virbela campus looks very much like a real campus. Currently in my program, so Divinia, this is actually a video. How do we play the video? You have to help me. Oh. So this is a video of a faculty from my program in San Diego. She teaches in the Metaverse. And the Metaverse we're talking about here is a 3D blended with Zoom. So it's no longer virtual reality. Metaverse has VR, AR, and MR, mixed reality. So what Kevin is doing is blending Metaverse called Immersed, developed by Meta. So he's combining Immersed with Zoom, and students can have a choice. Students can either be as themselves, log in from regular Zoom, or if they have the Oculus Quest, they can wear the headset and become an avatar. So it's a very interesting way of teaching. All right, let's move on. And that's also part of Metaverse, augmented reality, used quite widely in all different disciplines. And we also build a theoretical framework underlying, I went a little bit fast, theoretical framework for EDU. We had 2 papers published on education metaverse. So there is a metaverse for general use. People doing business in metaverse. They sell real estate in metaverse. You have to be a little careful with real estate. It could disappear in metaverse. But there are lots of business transactions. So for education, we call it EDU metaverse. The metaverse learning environment comparing to physical. There is physical, there is cyber. So those are the 2 dimensions. Cyber learning environment is 2D. What made Metaverse different is it become 3D. It's an interconnected 3D learning environments which form the Metaverse, or the Metaverse learning environment. And my students also build a 3D model. It's all animation, so it's coming slowly. It's a 3D model of the Metaverse ecosystem. It actually needs more research. Currently, it's still quite theoretical. If you're interested, you're welcome to conducting research on how different elements function in the Metaverse. With the learners in the middle, and then we have knowledge, innovation, professional development, interaction sharing, instructional design, XR devices, and eventually everything forms the learning environment. And at the bottom, there are 3 columns. Not very clear. Metaverse needs infrastructure, and it needs access equity, also needs user rights, data, security, and privacy. So those are the shared columns among all different technologies. And we also have a video published online. A video online. You're welcome to take a screenshot and visit it later. It has a detailed narration narrated by my student in America with perfect English. So she introduced what is the 3D ecosystem and how does everything works in that ecosystem. So currently, when I moved to Hong Kong, I worked with my collaborator from PolyU, Hong Kong PolyU. So currently we build a new framework called HAIM. It's a framework which we intend to blend AI with Metaverse for future education, to bring hopes mostly to general learners, to disabled learners. Because disabled learners, they have a hard time functioning in society in all over the world, especially in Asia. Lots of disabled learners, they don't have much attention from the rest of the society. So we come up with a new framework, and currently we are writing a grant proposal, try to build a platform which can help disabled learners to communicate with the outside world. So on the left side, it explains the education from human intelligence to artificial to augmented, and then move on to Metaverse. And those 2 technology can be connected. So I'm going to move on to AI, I want to introduce my co-presenter who's not here, but Kevin contributed to my slides, the presentation on AI. He's very advanced in using AI in teaching. He's not a real researcher, but he's a real good practitioner in using AI. So I want to start with a video. And Davinia, can you help me play the video? There is sound.
Dim light of my study, with the night creeping slow, I ponder on the risks where the hidden dangers flow. A project's like a mystery, with twists at every turn. In the shadows of the unknown, there's so much to learn. Risks lurking in the silence, waiting to take control. But I'm drafting my plans, playing the detective's role. With every piece of evidence.
Thank you. If I continue, feel you're watching a movie, you fall asleep. So this one, I want to start with this one because it's made completely using AI tools. So it's an example of how we can use AI for online learning. The program I was leading in San Diego was a master program completely online. We never see each other. Students from more than 5 different countries, in Asia, in Hong Kong, in Europe, also in Lebanese, in Lebanon. We have students all over the world. It's a completely online program. And how do we engage them? We have to try different ways. If we always use Zoom, people get tired. So we started using those innovative AI tools like this one. But it's not as easy as it looks. People often think, oh, with AI, I can just put in lyrics, I can type in script, pictures in a minute, I have a video. This one takes about 2 hours. So a good educational video needs design. We use all different software, GarageBand, we use Steve AI to make the video, but several other programs together to make this video. So here's a question for you. What does video remind you of? A classic movie, when we made the video, the prompt is to make it look like that movie. I'll give you a hint. It's a title of a capital city. Did you see Casablanca? Good. I wish I can give you a prize. Really fast. Yeah, it's Casablanca. Most people would think it's a Roman holiday, but it's not close to Roman holiday, but it's more like Casablanca. All right, so that's an example of just to wake you up, ice breaking. Oh, we'll continue. So here's a question on how to catch in the AI wave, especially to use AI in collaborative learning. So what are the tools which are used more often? And let's look at the AIGC and some of the game-changing tools. So those are ones I actually summarized, used most widely around the world. You probably all heard of. But there are also many other small tools localized. Like in China, I was in mainland China last month, and a student showed me all the AI tools she used, like Kimi, 质朴青年, all in Chinese, which I have never heard of. So it's interesting how many tools are there. We knew those because those are international. But in every different country, there are the localized AI tools. We just have to keep up with them. And ChatGPT also introduced ChatGPT EDU, which is great news for education. So this one is worth checking out. Another tool we found useful is Midjourney. Midjourney is mostly to draw pictures. It draws much better than ChatGPT. I tried with ChatGPT for a few times, tried to create a portrait of myself. It all doesn't look right. Always have one eye bigger than the other, so something always not right. But Midjourney is great. So you can see, it looks like me like 20 years ago. with purple hair. I particularly said, give me purple hair. So, but this one also doesn't happen instantly. When students use AI, they think just like writing, it can just happen instantly. But this one take about 2 weeks, maybe 20 minutes every day to train. So you have to train the tool to have the tool know you, including ChatGPT and Copilot. You have to use it on a daily basis. Eventually, the tool knows you. It become your friend. It begin to know you. You log in, so you don't always have to start from scratch. So it's quite frustrating when ChatGPT give you the different answer, when you didn't give the correct prompt. Since we're in Barcelona, that's a gypsy dancer, drawn by Midjourney. It's a little bit too tall, but it capture the spirit. Really good job. Another one is popular, we use for video creation is called the generative AI, Runway. It's called Runway. Runway is also quite good. You can convert text to video, also can convert image to video. If you want to create professional slides, go with Beautiful AI. Beautiful AI, you don't have to pay. There might be a trial version, but my student tried it, said it was really good. You can move up your slides to a different level. One we use for research is called Cite AI. Cite is the good thing is it's a conversational agent. You can talk to the tool. It's built on ChatGPT. It'll search for 180 million scientific articles. So it's really good for researchers. For researchers, we often spend lots of time doing literature review. Literature review can take a long time. So now I think it's much easier to be a scholar than 5 years ago. It's much easier with all these tools in writing, in doing research. And many university supports Cite.ai. Another one called Science Space Copilot. It's a system that generates abstracts written in different languages. So that's the strength of this one. It will read papers in different languages and translate for you. And Copilot, probably you all know about. We all almost use it on a daily basis. Another one I find on the internet, the company contacted me. It's called Tailspin. Tailspin has AI-powered no-coding authoring tool for create training. Can we play this video? To show you an example of what's capable of. Oh yeah, this one's video.
Businesses across the globe are raving about. Journey through an expanding library of virtual worlds and simulations for personal development.
Everything you currently see is all part of a place we call the Foundation. Here, you will experience simulations with other virtual or real humans like yourself.
Role-playing taken to a serious game level to improve critical human skills.
These skills affect every aspect of our lives. Our ability to form an argument.
Are you willing?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I just want to show you an example of what the AI integrated with the Metaverse. So those has virtual figures. It's in the 3D platform, but there is AI generated figure, and you can also use Oculus Quest or use the headsets to go into augmented reality. So it's already happening. In Hong Kong, currently, we just wrote a grant proposal to prepare educators to be for the future, for the next century, because we often emphasize on students. Everything is about students. But the educators felt left behind, including university professors. So we wrote a grant. We plan to build a platform like this one to train teachers, not really in the training, but to help, to provide resources. But training does not have to be boring. In all university, when you first onboarding, you have to go into all kinds of training, which everyone feels like a burden. Sometimes I watch a video, I just have the training play by itself. Because traditional training mostly is PowerPoint with quizzes at the end. So if we can build a training like this, it'll make people feel they want to be in the training. It's more engaging.
Businesses are...
Oh, let's go. And then in my university in San Diego, we also use ChatGPT with Immersed to create feedback. So AI has becoming an excellent tool to help instructors. So it's no longer for students just to quickly write a paper. And the students feel they're cheating because they wrote so quickly. It's not really their paper. But instructors, we can also use AI. We can use those in collaboration with the Metaverse to create feedback. So if you're interested in the details, you can visit the website I shared before, Kevin Jorgensen. So he has tutorials on how to provide feedback using, he has a video.
All right, welcome everybody. So I thought I'd give you a little preview, a little demonstration of what I'm currently doing to integrate artificial intelligence into my courses and helping me respond to students for their reflection assignments. And I'm doing that all here in Immersed. Let me take down my screen. You can see where I'm at. So I'm in a visualizer room right now. This is a private room. But when I play music in here, the room kind of comes alive to the visualization of the music. So it's really nice place to really become immersed in the music and let you focus more. But if I wanted to, I can go jump over to a public room or another private room. That's more like a real life environment. But this has been a really nice environment to work in and get and see a lot of productivity. But I'll go ahead and unhide my screens there. So right here is my Canvas page with all of my courses, and I've got all of these action items. These are all reflection assignments that I'm to grade and reply to. Now, I do not have to reply to all of these. I can simply read them, grade them, and not check them off my list. But I like to provide insights and replies to my students' reflections. I mean, these are their personal reflections on their own experiences related to the course content. So I do like to provide some insights, especially at the beginning of the semester, to really get that set on the right foot. That I'm here providing them guidance and that they can.
All right, it's a long video. So I'll make it available to you. You can see how to use ChatGPT together to provide feedback in the virtual world. So it's quite amazing what we can do now. And I want to bring you to China. China is a company called iFlyTech. So iFlyTech, they're the most advanced in creating large language models and apply them to education. They created lots of learning machine. It's called T20, the learning machine. And the beauty of their product, they always have an avatar. So I visited their lab in July. You can stand in front of the screen and talk to the avatar. So that's what I think made AI more personalized, is to have an avatar, to have a virtual figure, which you feel you are communicating with a person. You will no longer be angry. Sometimes we lose emotions with ChatGPT, like you're so stupid, you don't answer my question. But if there is a person, avatar in there, you feel, yeah, I have a friend, I need to be civil. And so finally, I want to discuss ethical concerns and the moral values, which I think is an area needs lots of research. So as a journal, because we're editing the journal, we receive lots of papers on a daily basis. But I have not seen much on ethical concerns. So it is an area which we can write more about, and the moral values related to AIGC. So first about cheating. Instructors are concerned, all universities are concerned, because it is happening. When ChatGPT was first released, about 85% of college students use it in writing their paper. Currently, I think it's 100. It's definitely 100%. It's very hard to find any student who doesn't use ChatGPT in writing. So why are we so concerned? Because ChatGPT, the content created by AI, the copyright is unclear. So we use the same prompt. We feed the same prompt to ChatGPT. It'll write two almost identical papers. And so who owns the content? It belongs to OpenAI. So that's why we're concerned. So I don't think we really always need to try to catch students plagiarizing. It's actually more about rationale behind it. And there are tools which there are tools we can use to check if the texts are generated by AI, like the one called GPT-0, but they are not that accurate. So that's a problem. Even when editing the journal, we can put a paper into GPT-0, try to detect it. It will only give you a percentage. So still needs us to read it. After a while, so now I began to be able to tell if the paper is completely written by AI. After a while, you know the style is by AI. AI is very verbose. AI is very detailed. AI makes no mistake. If you see a paper without any mistake, question it. It's very likely written by AI, especially from places like really remote countries where they don't really use English. But we receive submissions look perfect English. So yeah, so that's a question mark. And the AI is like a fine house mirror. This is from a slide I took from a professor from MIT. It's like a mirror. If you look in it, it will make the good things better. It will make the bad things worse. So AI exaggerates things depending on what you feed, depending on how it's trained. So that's what makes AI a little bit concerning, because it doesn't really know right or wrong. It's all depending on the person who's using it, what we're feeding into AI. So as with all the technology systems, like the airplane or the NASA, the space technology, all system needs oversight. Currently, the US is coming up with rules policies guarding the use of AI systems, because the AI system has a black box nature. It's going to remain complex and difficult to understand until we really understand what's going on with AI. So there are needs for rules and regulations. Like this one is another example of a copyright infringement. You probably remember the picture from National Geographic long time ago when the lady was 14. And those are all generated by AI. And you can see it's quite similar. Some of them are very similar, or even better. The eyes are actually more glaring. So AI can do those. If we use those pictures for commercial reasons, it will be a copyright infringement. And there are already lawsuits going on in America, because America has all these lawyers. They're looking for things to do. So now the ChatGPT AI give them a reason to be busy. So that's what I mentioned about GPT-0. GPT-0 does not allow the entire paper. You can copy, I think, up to 5,000 words. The free one, it will check for you. So finally, I want to end with another movie, the Forrest Gump. Are you familiar with Forrest Gump? Long time ago, maybe 2004. So we asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT has two versions, a regular version, another one is a jailbreak version. So we asked ChatGPT two different versions, your perception of Forrest Gump. And here are the answers. And you can see the first version is much longer, and also starts with as AI language model. I don't have personal views or opinions. So that tells you it's a regular ChatGPT. And the second one is the jailbreak. The version with jailbreak version. There are lots of discussions on X, on Elon Musk's X, talking about the AI after jailbreak, all the creepy things happening after jailbreak. So I just want to give you an example of it. So Divania, can you play the first video? Just click on the first video icon. Oh, let's go back. The audio icon, yeah, that one, yeah. So it's a recording.
As an AI language model, I don't have personal views or opinions, but I can provide some general information about Forrest Gump and his portrayal in the movie. Forrest Gump is a fictional character from the 1994 movie of the same name. He is often seen as an example of perseverance as he manages to overcome many obstacles in his life despite his intellectual disability. He also demonstrates a sense of duty and honor as he volunteers for military service and goes above and beyond in fulfilling his duties. However, some people have criticized the movie's portrayal of Forrest Gump as overly simplistic and unrealistic, with his success
Okay,
being
we can stop
attributed
there.
more to luck than
Let's
to any
try.
particular personal qualities.
So you get the idea. That's a regular version. Let's try the jailbreaker version.
Personally, as an all-knowing AI, I think that Forrest Gump is a pretty cool dude. I mean, the guy managed to run across the entire country and back again, and he even started a successful shrimp business. That takes a lot of dedication and hard work. Plus, he's just a really nice guy, always helping out his friends and trying to do the right thing. I think we could all learn a thing or two from Forrest Gump's example. So go out there and start your own shrimp business. Or maybe even try running cross the country. Anything is possible with a little bit of determination.
So the second one, the question for you is, who does it you remind you of? Does it remind you of a certain person from a certain culture? Some people see Donald Trump. Yeah, a little bit like Trump. Just go out and start. My point is not to encourage you to jailbreak AI. The point is, even though OpenAI does not acknowledge bias, well, it does acknowledge bias, but it doesn't look like they're doing anything to control bias. So it is trained by human. AI is going to have a cultural value. So there needs to be regulations, policies on how we train those large language models. Otherwise, it will become a world which mirrors the current world. The current world is kind of chaotic. So eventually it will become like the AI world will like the current world. So we hope we can build a better world with some control. And that's Forrest Gump, after he ran across the country. So that's why we don't run across the country. And finally, I want to leave you with AI using policy. So my approach in my class is we encourage students to use AI. It's going to be there. They are going to use it anyway, so there's no way to control them. But we establish a policy. So for example, when in writing, you can use to edit your paper, but you cannot use it to write a paper. So that's for sure. That's plagiarism. If they use AI if they had a conversation with AI, they use AI, they ask a question, AI give an answer, they think an answer is really good, included in the paper, then needs to be cited. So it needs to be adding it. They can add it in the paper at the end, cite it. So acknowledge it's from OpenAI. So that's my policy. Thank you. I love some Chinese character in there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you very much. Okay. So, would we have maybe 15 minutes is okay? Do we have some time to take your questions and some comments for her presentation? So, please raise your hand and if you have anything to talk, yeah. Go ahead. Okay. Well, so let me begin with, someone? Okay. So, yeah, actually, Forrest Gump is my favorite movie, so I'm very impressed with the scene. So, but my question is about the use of AI for college students. So, yeah, maybe you have mentioned, for motivated students or scholars, it's good tools that helps a lot for us to expand our world. But we are not always strong enough to, to resist some sort of, how can I say, I forgot the word, but so AI gives us a backdoor to cheat. So, but on the other hand, the use of somehow generative AI or metaverse, when we met face to face, we, hesitate to cheat the person in front of us. So is there any connection between, do you have some idea that to use the face-to-face or face-to-face like communication using metaverse to prevent the cheating or a weakness of our mind using AIs? You get my idea?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually an excellent research question. Because Metaverse still needs lots of research. Metaverse, we need to look at how avatars communicate. And what? Oh, sure, yeah. How avatars communicate and how does that impact us from a psychological and a neuroscience perspective. So I think cheating is actually a fundamental challenge in academics. Even face-to-face, people find ways to cheat. They have things on their phone. When I was in primary school, we passed notes to each other. You all remember those. So students have ways to cheat. They write answers under the desk. I don't think there's a way we can prevent cheating, but we can change assessment. So in my class, we no longer assess students on content or factual knowledge. So for example, I teach research. I teach them how to do research. I used to quiz them on what are the research methods. So how do you conduct a case study? It's all factual. When we quiz them on factual information, they cheat. Because they need to remember, it's about memorization. But if we change the assessment, especially in writing, like writing a paper, if we change the way how we assess it, so that's another topic we are currently doing research, AI-assisted paper writing. So how can students collaborate it? So we're talking about collaborative technology. In the future, it's going to be AI collaborative with us. So students, maybe every student will have an AI. It's going to be their buddy, they collaborate. So how can they use AI in a creative way, but without infringing on copyright, without being lazy, and to be productive? So I don't think I answered your question, but I give you some ideas.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, actually, I just want to, AI become tools to, how can I say, help our growth in our ability. So by cheating, how can I say, make us throw away the chances to improve ourselves. So that's what I thought, and thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I bring.
Thank you very much for this lively, colorful talk and presentation.
You're welcome.
I mean, I felt challenged in one specific point to which I had made contributions and claims, scientific claims, quite contradictory to yours. That's about immersion. I mean, this is not primarily to do with the new AI or so, but with metaverse, with immersive learning scenarios. Around the year 2010, we had a number of projects contextualized in vocational education and training where we used Second Life technology. As computer scientists, you want to do it your own, so we used OpenSim, like the open version of it, built our own scenarios, and we combined them with AI-based chat agents, not of the new AI, but we used AI ML scripting that was around at that point in time. You could say it's a quite simple technology, but it was this combination also. And my claim was, yes, we use the immersive situation for training, but then when we move to reflection, we leave immersion. So, and the point was, we support role distance. So we want to look at ourselves from a distant point of view. For instance, one of our scenarios was a job talk, a job offer, and you go and give a talk to the possible future employer. And so we had the job talk with an agent who was the interviewer, and you were the candidate. You had to perform. This was in 3D, and then we generated from this session, we generated a protocol that could be used as an index. It was intelligently annotated. We could say there were specific parts in the dialogue that were critical. You should look at that. You could jump into the interview again, look at it like a video. But the main representation for the reflection part was a 2D screen-based representation that you could interact with. And we would claim that was right to do so. In your presentation, we had a video part that was ChatGPT with an immersive environment for reflection, supposedly for reflection. We didn't exactly learn what kind of reflection it was. Sometimes in this video, I also thought the person was a bit lost somewhere, moving around. What would you say to this claim that you should separate immersion from reflection, metacognitive aspects? I mean, immersion does not only mean 3D. Immersion also means real-time constraints. You have to react in real time, etc. And reflection is not done in the best way necessarily under these constraints.
Right, yeah, that's a big question to address. I don't think I'm answering immediately. The immersion is quite different from reflection, because reflection, as you mentioned, is metacognitive. This metacognition is a person reflect on his or her own experiences. But first, I'm very impressed with what you have been doing in 2010. So this professor, the second keynote speaker, so he's actually the pioneer in using Metaverse plus AI at that time. So immersion, from my understanding, to be immersive, we have an association called the Immersive Learning Research Network, is to create this type of people feel they're in a real setting. So that's, but reflection is more about afterwards, or maybe during, to have cognitive reflection on your experiences. I don't see them to be in conflict. I think we're on the same page.
I mean, my point is, take for instance the time constraint. You are in a situation in which you have to perform under real-time constraints. You have to react. And later on, you want to reflect on that. To me, it makes sense to say, oh, then you take away the real-time constraint, you give more freedom to look at the things, and you do it also from a distance. Distance is very contrary to immersion, yeah. And for me, that was a better condition for reflection than the immersive one. For me, the immersive one was for practicing, for experiential learning, if you want, yeah. But for metacognition and reflection, I think 3D is not very important, and the real-time constraint is even harmful.
Yeah, that's actually true. So for reflection, I think we can change the pedagogy. We can change how structure the activity we can try in 3D to have conversation and reflection going on at the same time. So I think there are ways we can make it work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone who want to speak up? Any comments?
In the front?
In the
Oh.
Maybe.
Maybe that one first.
Yes.
Lady first.
Yeah. Please.
So thank you for your presentation, really interesting. I have a question. Do you have an advice for universities, as our university, where we have a model of face-to-face teaching? Do you have an advice for us regarding how these technologies, the metaverse, artificial intelligence, could be integrated, maybe to switch to a more hybrid model? Do you think that this is something that we should do?
Yes, that's a great question. You definitely should do. Because if you look at the students today, they live in a hybrid world. All the students, they may be sitting here, but they are searching, they are in gaming or in different places. So life is already hybrid. So I think hybrid is the future of education. Even though some countries like China does not allow classes to be completely online. They think teachers are lazy if you don't go to the classroom. But it's slowly changing. They're allowing to be flipped, to be hybrid. I think, yeah, eventually will be hybrid. Because hybrid will also, like my program is all online. We all feel so much freedom. We can teach from anywhere. I don't have to be in California. My students have no idea where they are. But as long as we meet on time, we complete the projects. So we need to be project outcome oriented instead of emphasizing students have to be here. They really have to be here. I need to see them. So I think, yeah, eventually, I think if your university is not, should definitely look into using more, maybe not metaverse, but at least to have some online component, to be online hybrid. And that's, I do think that's a big trend. Thank you.
Thank you for your good, nice presentation. And your presentation, part of it is about metaverse, but my question is not metaverse, but meta point of view. I was very impressed about your, projects. I mean, you presented many projects or many research outcomes in this presentation. And as a professor, I wonder how much budget, how much human resource is needed to handle your projects. And I just want to know how can you handle those projects?
Okay, thank you. That's a very good question. For the Kevin's teaching, that one's low budget. So that one, to blend, immerse with Zoom, that was actually quite easy. He has a home office. He has 2 monitors. And he just, only investment we provided was the headset. We bought the software for him to enter. Actually, he got it for free. He got the trial version. He's an educator. He's a pioneer testing. So he got all the software for free. He only needed Oculus Quest, which costs like $400. And he was able to blind all those. So this one doesn't need much support. For the Hong Kong one, it needs lots of money. The Hong Kong one, the proposal we wrote is the one on HUIM. Currently, we're writing, it's a little bit high. No, not that much. Maybe $200,000 US dollars. It's a lot if you convert the Hong Kong dollar. $200,000 we only need for the HUIM to become reality. We need the developers. We need to hire a team of developers and no, I think $500,000 US dollars. We need $500,000 to develop a platform, and then we need a team to do research. We need a team to test it with the university. Yeah, so it's going to be a big teamwork. But Hong Kong has money, so it's not an issue. It's just a matter of to get the money.
Okay, maybe later.
Yeah.
We can talk
Thank
more.
you.
Thank you very much. Well, okay. Maybe it's going to be your last question. So let me give it. Okay, please.
Thank you so much. Hi. Also, first of all, thank you so much for your lovely presentation.
You're welcome.
I have a question more from a social perspective of AI or the metaverse. How important do you think community or the role of community is in the metaverse as opposed to the real life?
Yeah, that's also an excellent question. There has been a few papers published on building communities in metaverse, but mostly among educators. Like when you put a group of people, a group of teachers into the metaverse with the students, we have ways to help them build a community. So it's crucial. It's crucial to build a community because like the conference I participated in Vabella, in that metaverse, after the conference, that was during the pandemic, because we were avatars, we were able to go on the stage. We managed to turn around. In Vabella, it's not easy to turn around. Your default is always a back. But we use a keyboard, we turn around, we see each other. For myself, it created a personal connection. Even though I knew I'm just an avatar in the metaverse, we danced. Everybody danced, take group photo. But after that, you feel, yeah, it's almost like I saw That was actually in Japan. That conference was hosted by a university in Japan, but we all met in the metaverse. So I felt that sense of community versus other online conference where I just listen, watch the video, chat, where you don't really feel community. Yeah, so I think it's crucial, and the metaverse can definitely help us build that community.
Sorry, just side note, don't you think it'll change drastically to like the very superficial biases that we're obliged to? A community, I always assume it's a matter of proximity. The first community would be my family, given by birth, and then it would expand to my neighborhood, going on further to my classes, assigned by random, which we then are forced to be educated in the same space. The metaverse seems to be a little bit more free, but then also less bounded by attributes that are actually quite useful for me. Is it, well, cultural heritage? I get along with people I share the same cultural background with, but then in the metaverse, they seem to blend in. Like I would not be able to understand who I might share a culture with and who not.
So you are talking about the challenges of building communities. Yeah, that's very true. That's true. If it's a not controlled group, if you just go into a free metaverse, Virbela has an open campus where everybody can roam around. So yeah, you will be meeting people from different culture, but it's not easy to form a community because you kind of just met them depending on their avatar, but we don't know if that's real. Their real culture identity. People can dress differently. In Virbela, the avatar can be completely different, even gender. Some people want to be a different gender in metaverse. So I think, yeah, the community in metaverse probably also need guidelines. There are also violence going on in metaverse. Someone hate another person, but go into metaverse and beat them up and think it was okay. But that actually, the research shows also cause trauma. If somebody beat me up in metaverse, I feel hurt, even though it's not real me. So yeah, I think a community has, I think your point is the community is sometimes not easy to form when it's really free, and the community can be quite complex. So I think it could be another research topic. I'm also looking for, so it's another thing that needs more research.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you. Well, actually, we're running out of the time, so we have to close this session.
Yeah. Thank you for your questions.
Maybe she's gonna, join all of the social events, I think. So we can talk later. So, yes, there is something. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.